we have our first guest here, Ella, to come on up and take a seat in our chair. We have lots and lots of questions for you. Ella, first I want to thank you for joining us today. My first question for you are what are some things that you like to read about? She likes to read about the pigeon that drives the bus.
Yeah.
Now, for those of us who are in the audience and are interested in that story, can you tell us what the author of that story is? Mo Willems. He's one of my favorite authors. I have another question for you, Ella. Are you ready for it? My next question for you is, what do you like to learn about? You like to learn about Rachel? Rachel is your best friend. Maybe Rachel will be one of our guests today. Is there anything else that you like to learn about?
Leo. No. Leo.
What's on TV? Okay, that could be something to learn about. Let's see, what another question I have for you. This is a really good question. What is your favorite part of our school day? Ella likes to play on our computer. She has been spending time in our new technology center. Are there any other parts of our day that you really enjoy? Rachel, you like spending time with Rachel during our day? Yep. You're probably pretty thirsty. I know I am. One more question for you today before I turn it over to the audience. Ella, what do you like to do during the winter time with friends or family?
There's snowballs at people.
She likes to play snowballs at people. One of our audience members loves that. Audience members, I would like to turn it over to you. Does anyone have a question for our guest Ella today? Yes, you right here in front with a football t-shirt.
Is there gonna be a second one?
A second guest?
Yeah.
Of course there will, yep. Any other questions for our guest here, Ella? Leo S. There's going to be a third one. Question for our guest. Do you have a question for Ella? What would you like to know?
Do you have a
question? What would you like to know about Ella? Does this audience member need a little bit more think time? Okay, I'll come back to you. Sakura. What would you like to know about?
Ella plays.
What does Ella like to play?
I like to play doggy and mommy and daddy and babysitter and sister.
Okay, so it sounds like you like to play a family game. Well, I want to thank you, Ella, for joining us today on Burley Bits. We're going to come right back with another guest. Welcome back. We have one more guest for you today, and his name is Leo Daly. Come join us, Leo. Leo, thank you for joining us today on this very cold day. We have lots of questions for you. Are you ready for one of them? Okay. My first question for you today is, what do you like to do on the weekends with your friends and family?
Play the Wii and DS with my brother.
The Wii and DS. Can you tell us more about what DS is?
It's like a game and with a cartridge that you put in the DS.
Is this part of the Wii?
No. It's because you put in a CD.
I see. Okay. So are there certain family members or friends you like to play with?
My brother and my Just
Turn around.
One more question for you today, Leo. What museums have you visited with your friends or family? Do you remember any? Nope. No museums? Nope. Okay. This is a question I might already even know the answer to, but what do you like to read about?
Magic
He loves the Magic Tree House. If you're in the audience today and you enjoy reading about the Magic Tree House, put your hands up like this. Put your hands up like this if you enjoy reading about the Magic Tree House. Put your hands down, audience members. My last question for you today, before I open it up to our audience members, is what do you like to do during the winter time?
eating and drinking and having winter break.
During winter break, you like eating and drinking? Is there anything outdoors that you like to do?
Play at the park. Because once I did, and my dad just blew a snowball at my
Oh, yes. Yeah. Let's make sure our audience members are being respectful to the guests that we have today, Leo. No chatting, he just said no chatting. I would like to turn over the questions to the audience. This audience member right here in black has had her hand up the entire time. What would you like to know about our guest today? She wants to know if you play with Leo S.
yes.
Yes? Is there anything like you like to play with Leo S?
Football.
Football. Well, Leo, thank you for joining us today. We've had a great time having you on our show. We'll be right back with one more guest. Hi, and welcome back for our third and final guest here on Burley Bits. Today's third guest is Sakura Steinbarth, and she's going to be joining us on stage right now. Thank you for joining us today, Sakura. We have some questions for you. Our first question for you today is thinking about the books that you've read. What is one of the most favorite books that you've read so far?
I know.
Audience members, did you hear that?
And the popular pigeon.
She said, don't let the puppy stay up late. And what was the other one?
Don't let the pigeon ride the bus.
Don't let the pigeon ride the bus, which is kind of like our first guest that we had. Do you have any other favorite books that you have? What's the title of that?
Trixie.
On Trixie. Here's a question for you, and I bet you weren't expecting it. What is a book that you don't like? Is there a book that you don't like? There aren't any books that you don't like? No? That's okay. Okay, great. Let's see, another question I have for you is, what do you like to learn about?
Learning about
Suki? Sui, okay. Are there certain friends that you like to play with here at school? And who are they?
Ella.
And why do you like to play with these friends? So thirsty. Oh, that's very nice.
And don't punch.
Yep. Ella likes to play with friends and make safe choices. That's a very good thing to be thinking about when you're choosing friends. Well, our audience members look very thirsty, so it's time for us to take a break. Sakura, thank you for joining us today on Burley Bits. Join us again for another episode next week.